This is the $895 Amex Platinum card. And in this video, I'll be sharing 7 reasons why you may want to cancel this card today. Because it's advertised as giving you more than $1,000 worth of value and even more through credits it has for us, whether that's for hotels, airlines, and other kind of daily lifestyle costs. And I'll be breaking it down from personal purview so you can see what value I'm getting, and then you can choose to say, okay, hey, is this $895 worth it or not? The first is going to be $600 to fine hotels and resorts. It's distributed to us as $300 in the first 6 months of the year and then $300 in the second half. This is basically for more of that luxury level of hotel. The thing is, $300 every 6 months for a luxury type of hotel sounds kind of like, hey, how far am I actually going to get? But here on screen, you can kind of see, all right, this room rate was $200 a night. It's not like it was $700 or $800 or more. And I got upgraded multifold in such a way that there was extreme value. And for me personally, I don't really go to luxury hotels, let's say, or spend in my daily lifestyle. And I'm more of that economy type of traveler. But in the end of the day, getting this value allowed me to see, okay, this experience that maybe I wouldn't generally have, but also from Amex's perspective, it's really marketing to say, hey, you got your foot in the door, so why don't you spend more? Now, you don't need to spend more. You can just see how it is, experience it, and then decide which way do you want to take things forward. On a similar note to hotels, we're talking about spending at them through these benefits and perks. But imagine owning the hotel, like a Hyatt, Marriott, IHG, or Hilton. I have more information at the end of the video, but with that, let's get to the second credit on our list. From there, we get $400 to Resy, which essentially is a platform now owned by Amex, where you can make reservations for restaurants, which are more not your fast casual or mid-tier, but more on the higher end level of everything restaurants. It's given to us as $100 for each and every quarter, so $400 total throughout the year. And you'll see kind of this play throughout the whole credit giving to us as these Amex holders, where it's like a coupon book where you're going to basically not get it all in one lump sum, but distributed through increments of time throughout the year. You eat, I eat, we all eat every day. But to choose to eat at these fine dining establishments, it could be a lifestyle for some, it could be a special occasion for many, and in general, it could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience just depending on the type of individual you are. And so for me specifically, I enjoy food, as I'm sure we all do, and Resy has basically opened up the experience, just like the fine hotels and resorts, for me to try out places with my partner where we're actually enjoying a place that maybe we wouldn't want to spend full cash out of pocket. And so you may be thinking, okay, well, if you're not going to really dine at these places, is this credit really worth the full 400? The way I look at it is like, hey, it's more than an experience and what you're willing to pay for it. When you look at the dollar value, even if you value it as like 50%, like, hey, you got $100 worth of, this food you would have never eaten, but hey, maybe it's worth $50, right? Even if you say $0 for a new experience, that's still value in the end. And I would say it's a credit card perk nonetheless. For some, they may be dining at these places anyhow, so it's a cherry on top of, hey, I got a discount. At the same time, it's an experience gateway into everything that life has to offer, is the way I look at it. Moving on from there, this shirt is not from Lululemon, but my shorts are, which you can't see right now. Point being that we get $300 to Lululemon each and every year. And again, it's distributed as $75 each quarter. Now, this credit, when it was introduced, has been kind of controversial. Because some people are like, well, hey, I shop at Old Navy, The Gap, at wherever that isn't Lululemon, let's say. At the same time, I will say that after trying on Lululemon's clothes throughout the years, the quality is there. It really feels like, hey, it's worth it. And the biggest thing I'll say is after buying, let's say, cheaper clothes throughout the years, just over time, Lululemon's clothes, I sound like one of those ambassadors for their brand, but the quality is really there where maybe you're paying, let's say, 1.5x or 2x. So in other words, if you're buying a pant for, let's say, 40 or $60, just an example, but you're buying pants now at 120, 130 plus tax, right? May sound kind of like, hey, I would never do that. But I will say that they've lasted literally 5+ years or more, and the quality's still there, and the utility and all the great things. If you never shopped at Lululemon, this is a way for you to at least experience it, just like the other 2 credits. At the same time, $75 will get you some items, but there are some items that are just that much more. So the way I look at it is just like a lot of these credits, it's your foot in the door for them to basically upsell, cross-sell, make you spend more money. But in the end, it's your dollars and you choose how to spend them. You don't need to spend more than what's already allotted. It's totally your choice. So far, we're looking at $600 to fine hotels and resorts, $400 to Resy, so that's $1,000. Then we just went over to $300 to Lululemon. so 1,300. So even if you're not getting the full value, you can start kind of calculating in your head, hey, I'm spending 895, which I'll round off to 900. So if you shave off 400 of the total credit so far, we're basically at a break even. But with that, the next credit we have is $200 to a select airline. How this works is at the beginning of the year, you basically get the choice to elect a certain airline, and then you can basically have $200 of credit towards them. Now, you can't really book tickets with them, like the actual airfare, but you can book, let's say, seat upgrades or certain seats, and you can also book baggage or other incidental fees. There are ways around it, but not really the scope of this video. But with that, I've definitely seen value where, let's say, hey, the one time you're traveling with a pet throughout the year, if you have a pet, or hey, I actually value upgrading this seat to first class equivalent. So for me, Spirit Airlines, it's a budget airline, but they have this big front seat, which is basically like first class. And to use this credit towards that, especially on a long haul flight, I say is worth it personally, but that's after traveling each and every week for multiple years, just given my profession as a management consultant. So that definitely, you kind of see the way when there's only economy in your life and then kind of the better lifestyle or what have us, right, of the other side. So in my case, I see the utility, but I can definitely understand how many people look at this like, hey, this is money I would never spend anyways, so it doesn't really matter to me. So that's where this is going to come down to you. This next one, especially me being frugal day in, day out, is one of those where I would say there's zero value, but to some there's enough value to justify. And it's $100 to Saks Fifth Avenue, where it's given to us as $50 in the first half of the year and $50 in the second half of the year. And the way around it, basically, if you don't actually shop there or want to shop there, if you try to go online, back in the day, there were a lot of options where it was like below $50. So for example, I would buy, let's say, aftershave or shaving cream or certain accessories, and it was totally fine, where I felt like, okay, I'm getting some value back at least for this credit, where maybe it's not a part of my daily lifestyle. Simultaneously, at least at the time of recording, there's still a way, if you go into the physical store and you buy a gift card, it triggers that credit, and you can kind of save those gift cards, let's say over the years, if you want to plan out that way, where you can buy a bigger item if you choose. The cool thing here is that you can use that gift card now to go to Saks off Fifth, where basically you're getting the same items, but maybe they're not in season or the new arrival, right? And you can still purchase more items. Again, if it's a part of your daily lifestyle, you're still going to get that kind of discount. But if it's really a part of your daily lifestyle, you're probably not thinking of all these credits. You're probably just spending anyhow. If you're keeping tally, we've already covered $1,600 worth of credits, but there's $200 more through Uber/Uber Eats, where essentially this, I would say, is a lot easier to use. You have $15 given to us each and every month and $35 in December. I'm laughing because you can kind of tell the coupon nature of all of these credits. But really, it's meant to be giving you that spending capability time over time, aka month over month, quarter over quarter, what have us, versus, let's say, you get the card, you get all this lump sum, you use it, and then you're not using it throughout the year. So it's kind of like a give and take of, okay, hey, Amex wants our business, we want these credits, and that kind of difference if that's what you're into. With all that being said, I would say that, if you order on Uber Eats, you go pick up your order, you're not going to hit that delivery charge and all these other taxes and fees. And if you're Ubering, some folks prefer Uber Black. And some folks, it's anyways, I'm going to use Uber at least one time in a month. Then there you go. At least that's comped a little, or at least partial of your ride, or maybe the whole thing. Moving on, we got a couple daily lifestyle credits, as well as a couple intangibles. The first is going to be Walmart Plus. This membership, if you don't shop at Walmart, seems like, hey, there's no value at all. For me personally, I go to Walmart when I do, but I'm not on, Walmart.com or trying to get, advantage of prices at Walmart or not. I don't really care. But what I understood later as the days went on is that Walmart owns Sam's Club, and Sam's Club has gas stations on their premises. Not for all of them, but where they do, you're going to get Sam's Club gas pricing as if you're a Sam's Club member without paying the membership fee. So that small but very fine detail really works, especially if you have a family or multiple cars or you're driving a lot. It could actually save you more than you know just throughout the year. And more than that, there's another benefit which I never expected to have any value of it, but Paramount Plus. It's basically a streaming service like Netflix or Hulu, etc. And on there, there's maybe that one movie, let's say every quarter, just to, pun intended, right, of how much value I get. But maybe it's on Paramount Plus and not offered somewhere else. So at least I get to take advantage of that situation when it comes around. Expanding in this world of streaming, there's a $300 digital entertainment credit divvied up as $25 each and every month. And that can be used towards, example, Peacock or YouTube Premium, Disney, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and some other vendors. Right before we move on to the intangibles, the Amex Platinum earns membership reward points for each and every dollar spent. And these points can be redeemed in a myriad of ways through American Express's portal. One of the many ways is the ability to transfer points to airlines and hotels. And because there's such a huge selection, even if you're not flying these airlines or staying at these hotels, you're able to stay for free nights or get these free flights by transferring American Express membership reward points to these programs. Here's me at the Delta Museum in Atlanta, Georgia, going over why you may want to have the Amex Platinum versus a specific co-brand credit card, even though it's through American Express. This is the American Express Platinum card. And the power is, when you have cards like this right behind us over here, like airline specific ones, this is the Delta Platinum, you got the Delta Reserve, you also got the Delta Gold card here, and you have the Delta Blue. Now these airline specific cards are pretty cool, right? But in the end of the day, with the Amex Platinum, you can transfer these points to Delta Airlines. But with these cards, you can only use them with Delta, which is still amazing. But this card right here, where the Delta card and the Amex Platinum are both by American Express. And you can do a lot more with Delta and everyone else too. So with that being the case, now let's say that you're actually traveling very heavily over time, year over year. There's other credits like $209 to Clear, which is a way basically to get through the security line at the airport that much faster. Clear does have programs. I personally haven't seen them yet, but let's say you're at the stadium for a baseball game. You may have a way to get through that same line faster because you can go through a clear line, and that way you're just kind of authenticating yourself and moving forward faster than the general line. And in the same airport realm, let's say you're past security and now you're waiting for your flight. There's basically a lot of lounges that you can access. Priority Pass is more of the general lounge where you get that access through having different premium travel credit cards in the space, but Amex's Centurion Lounge is more specific to Amex only. And over here, there's not like hundreds of lounges throughout the world, but they're still pretty sweet and in pretty high regard amongst the travelers in general. There are lines that you may need to wait in, which has kind of been the issue / the problem statement of, okay, hey, like I know there's a lounge. I don't know how much time I have before my flight. Can I really go in? Can I really get a drink or that bite to eat? That's been kind of hit or miss. At the same time, you also have access to Delta Sky Clubs if you're specifically flying Delta up to 10 times in a year, which when you are, and if you are, especially for me, based out of Atlanta, Georgia, it's been very fruitful. For anyone that doesn't know, Atlanta is the hub for Delta Airlines. Now let's say you get to your destination or you're on a road trip and you're staying at a Marriott or Hilton. You get automatic gold status. You need to enroll on Amex's site in general, but once you have that all set up, you basically now have the capability to get upgraded that much more. And domestically, gold status, it's not like, let's say, Platinum Elite or Titanium Elite or one of the higher level statuses with Marriott or Diamond with Hilton. At the same time, it's better than zero. And when you're traveling abroad, you definitely see more capability and opportunity to get upgraded based on just that gold level of status. The flip side argument is that if you're actually traveling that much, you may already be that much higher in the status rungs. So it is what it is. At the same time, there's other cards where if you just have the card, then you already get an automatic level of status that's already higher than what the Amex Platinum gives us, but that may be locking yourself into a pure Marriott credit card or a pure Hilton card. So a convo for a different. The Amex Platinum makes sense for me, but these were 7 reasons or more of why it may not work out for you. With that, this was about credit cards, but if you're interested in other financial topics, check out this video over here, and I'll see you there.